Hi, everybody out there. My name is Laila Hameen from Halo Arts, a performing arts experience that encourages individuals to use acting and storytelling as a form of self-healing above adversity. So we are trying to incorporate a lot more digital content just to be accessible to everybody and to also introduce you to some amazing artists and content creators as well. And of course, I'm Laila Hameen, founder of Halo Arts. But I have some amazing people to join me today for our lovely Halo Arts Let's Talk About Art discussion. We've got Whitley Dew. She is the creative director of Fresh Air and digital marketing manager. Hello, Whitley.
Thank you so much, Laila, for inviting me. This is such a great opportunity, and it's amazing to be a part of Halo Arts, the Halo Arts.
Jonathan Rowan. You might have seen Jonathan Rowan in our video that was entitled Set Etiquette, where he broke down a lot of really informative tips for up-and-coming actors and even veteran actors. Well, Jonathan Rowan is a director, writer, and producer, founder and creative of Supastar Productionz. So say hello, Jonathan.
Hello out there.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And we have the legendary amazing and kind. Oh my God. Khrys Styles.
It's funny if you said somebody else's name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This is totally informal. I mean, come on. I'm basically in puka shells, guys. This isn't corporate. It's fine. So okay. We've got Khrys Styles. She is the visionary of the Cassie Project, the founder and visionary, and she'll talk a little bit about the Cassie Project. And she is the founder of One Black Woman Entertainment, and she's a TV host, an actress, philanthropist, and a mentor as well. So thank you for joining us, Khrys Styles.
Of course, anytime.
Yay! So first of all, I want to thank all of you all for making time for me in your schedule. I know everybody's busy and we all got so much going on, but I think it's really dope how everybody's so supportive of Halo Arts, and I'm supportive of what you all are doing too. So thank you so much for making the time for coming out. So let's think a little bit about what you all do. So what is it that you present? How does your line of work or your interest help you heal above any obstacles? Anybody want to go first? I might pick on some people, but I don't know. Who wants to go? Let's see. I'm going to pick Whitley Dew.
Wow. Congratulations, Whitley.
Lucky winner.
First up here, I would say you can categorize me as a digital marketing manager, paid marketing manager, as well as a content curator and creator. So that could just be anything from, social media marketing, digital marketing, paid marketing, just marketing in general. That's my cup of tea, as well as video advertising.
Nice, impressive. I'm glad we're officially meeting.
Yes.
Like something that, the four of us, could all be collaborating and have like this powerhouse
definitely
thing happen. I couldn't think of the correct word, but this thing could happen. So,
right. I'm all for it.
Very cool, very cool. And then Jonathan, tell us a little bit about Supastar Productionz.
Supastar Productionz is a media company based in Los Angeles, California, and we specialize in film and different digital media productions and content currently. I am the creator of it, and also do content creation as well, which a lot of my work should live on our YouTube channel and also our Facebook platform and also on our Instagram platform as well. So just being a creative and primarily a filmmaker at this point, I use my voice and my platform to speak on Black-centric issues and topics during my film productions and reach people through a digital format. So yeah.
Wonderful. I love that.
Really cool. Yay. What about you, Khrys Styles, One Black Woman Entertainment?
I was going to say, well, I guess that makes it my turn, huh?
Yeah.
3 is my number anyway, so I love being third, because that's like my universal connection number. So, hey. So, yes, I'm Khrys Styles, and I'm the founder of the Cassie Project. And that is my healing platform. The Cassie Project is a non-traditional healing initiative for survivors of sexual and domestic abuse, which I am, which I probably wouldn't have said publicly about 10 years ago. But it's an organization to help survivors of abuse reach a goal of healing. So it's share, heal, and live, which is the process for healing. I'm sorry, I keep saying so much. But Halo Arts is like exactly what we are as well, except Layla's doing it on a bigger scale, focusing more on the healing of through the arts. You are, honey, you are. And I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. So that's what we do. And it's KASSIE. And the acronym is Keeping All Survivors Safe, Informed, and Emancipated. And it was launched because my girlfriend was murdered. So she was a victim of domestic violence, me being a survivor of childhood rape and molestation. You know, it's kind of combining our causes. Now, One Black Woman Entertainment is, it's just me. I am but one Black woman. And that is my brand, because it's something that I don't have a choice. I mean, I am one Black woman. I can't be anybody but myself, unless, of course, the script calls for it. And then I'm whoever you want me to be. But yeah, so that's like an umbrella organization. I am an actress. I am a television host or radio personality, syndicated shows. I do television. I do commercial work. I do stage work. So all around anything entertainment, I MC, I host, I moderate, whatever it is that you need me to do. I don't really like to do the singing part, but if I have to, and don't ask me to dance because I have no coordination. But pretty much that is, you know, One Black Woman Entertainment. And if I need to partner with other people to get the job done, that's what we do. But it all starts here with One Black Woman. So that's who and what I do and am. And that's how I heal, through the arts.
Cool. That's cool. What all of y'all are doing is just amazing and so relevant. And I'm just grateful to have you all here in front of me, even if you're all on screens right now. I wish I could hug you all. And so, Whitley, could you tell me a little bit about the importance of social media and how it relates to the mental health, the need in mental health, and also being creative within that?
Sure. I would say social media can be a good thing and a bad thing. I think that you as a person would have to definitely know the difference, and stop yourself from going down the rabbit hole of comparing yourself to others on social media. But on the flip side, there is a positive in that. You can follow other like-minded people on social media that you probably would never have met in person, which is great. And especially now, since we can't really hug everyone like we want to, it's probably a great idea to even connect with people on social media, even more so than in the past. But the importance of art, it's a gateway to the soul. It's a way to express yourself, even if you aren't able to. And it doesn't have to just be the old school medium of paint. It could just be graphic art. It could be poetry, spoken word, and things like that. And you know, nowadays it's easier to share your creation easier than it was in the past. So I think social media is pretty helpful in that regard.
Nice. I agree. And it's also really important, like you touched on, not comparing yourself to individuals. It is such a tricky world out there with Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and filters and everything. You know, it can definitely be a challenge that people need to overcome. So thanks for touching on that. That's really important. Awesome. And Jonathan, so you create films. You're a filmmaker and a writer and a director. What motivates you to create the work that you do?
What motivates me to create the work that I do is just my connection to art. I've always been in love with the art since I was a child, since the age of 4. So art is therapeutic to me. Art is a place where I can, you know, be unapologetic, be raw, and be real in my displays of what I choose to talk about. I was taught in film school to be authentic in my storytelling, and I encourage anyone who out there who is a storyteller in any format to be authentic to your voice, to tell stories from your perspective. It's okay to tell stories from other people's perspectives that maybe you don't personally know or can view through, but always have someone who can be on your team that has that experience or that can kind of guide that production to give it authenticity as well. So yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And Miss Khrys Styles,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have your own company, and plus you have your nonprofit as well, which is the Cassie Project. Could you give us a little bit of information on how your work helps individuals who may be facing mental challenges?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for asking. And just like Jonathan said, um, that platform of storytelling. As you know, the Cassie Project is basically about survivors telling their stories. And so when we take the couch out to that survivor's safe place, that opens it up for them and gives them back the power of the where, the how much, and the what they are sharing through their stories. And our platform is also on social media, YouTube and Facebook, but we have videos of survivors sharing their journeys, talking about their struggles, talking about what they want to do to heal, the struggles that they had trying to heal. Laila, you've been a guest on Cassie Live, which was a live television broadcast that we did for survivors as well. So I think, just like what Jonathan said, that is what's really important, allowing people to use their own voices and then hearing their own voices, to recognize, to acknowledge and accept the things that they've been through, but to also find that path to healing. And as Tyrese said, one person's test can be a testimony for other people to help them find their way. So I said all that and cannot remember the question.
It's okay. It was basically dealing with mental challenges, and sometimes we have to go through the testimony to handle our mental challenges. I'm challenged with my lighting right now because the sun is setting, and something I need to adjust.
It was looking magical for a minute, like it had like this glassy thing going on where like we can see something behind you. I thought that was pretty cool. But did I answer the question, or was that a 2-part question, or I don't know?
Yeah,
it was good. Jonathan, Whitley, did you guys get the answer? Okay.
Thumbs up.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Perfection.
Nice. And Whitley, I love how you touched on how you can do storytelling through digital art. And so is that something you've always been interested in since you were young, or is it just like a recent hobby?
Well, when I was younger, the thought of digital media or digital art wasn't even a thought then. Then it was, your traditional way of producing art. With digital art, I think that you could take that traditional piece of art, turn it into digital, and then more eyeballs could see it, or more people or consumers can see it a lot better on digital. So I would say recently, I fell into a love for it. And even more so than that, I kind of recently took a step back from being in front of the camera and focused on connecting other creators, like-minded creators, with their audience. I noticed that there was a need for it. I noticed that there were a lot of creators out there that were producing great content, but their audience or the people that they were trying to reach weren't seeing it. So I was taking it upon myself to kind of make those connections digitally. So that became a new passion of mine.
That's inspiring. That's very inspiring. Very inspiring. Oh, yay. Okay, so I'm trying not to get all wishy-washy, but I can't help it. I gotta be me. Like Khrys said, I can only be me, and that's me. I'm I'm that type of person. Yes. Very emotional.
We're empaths, Laila. We're empaths. It's okay.
Yes.
Right. It's okay.
So is it okay? Can I make a comment on what Whitley said?
Sure, yeah.
So I wanted to mention the whole social media and the healing thing. Like I said, I'm a survivor, so my journey continues every day. And I use social media. I recently discovered TikTok. I know I'm totally late, but recently discovered TikTok, and I follow people who help me along my mental health journey, people who help me recognize things. There's one lady, she focuses on narcissism, on and I've learned so much about the relationships I've been in, like what? And then I learn about myself. And then there's the healing process. And it's just like, it's like getting that therapy that, you may not want to actually go out and seek or try to pay a doctor for. But there are other people who have walked in your shoes. And that's one thing about healing from abuse is that survivors have to know that they're not alone. And social media is a platform that brings so many of us together, and whether we want to, we can not have pictures up on our profiles or things like that. People don't have to know who we are, but just being able to join those communities and those groups of like-minded individuals through whatever your journey, a new mom or whatever the case may be. I think social media has been such a blessing in that way. It's like you said, Whitley, it can also be a curse or a bad thing because people misuse it. But at the same time, there's almost hope for anything when you look on social media and you connect with the right, people and follow the right groups. So that is a wonderful thing. That's been a challenge for me. I'm not real social media savvy, but I like it and I give it a thumbs up and I use it. I just don't know how to use it with my organization to get out what I need to get out, But I applaud you for being able to do that because algorithms and all that stuff, I'm like totally lost with that. Totally.
Well, I have your back. So whenever
All right now. Thank you, babe.
So cool, so cool. So Jonathan, with you creating films such as Beauty Mark and Man Down and the whole repertoire that you are building over the years, like you started off doing like music videos. I remember in college you were doing recreating music videos, so you were always creative with that. And you went on and did Slasher, and then from there, I mean, you're in film school. You just graduated from film school, correct? Right. So what basically motivated you to say, hey, this is how I'm going to pursue storytelling in this medium? What motivated you to do that?
Like we said earlier, challenging my creativity and my vision. I've always felt I've had some type of vision, and even in middle school, I used to write short stories. So, with all the skills I was learning when I was at NKU, just in a like a regular job, like a studio type environment, it was important for me to bring my creative inner child or whatever artist out and just kind of utilize everything to kind of put it in a melting pot where I can create a vision and an image, a moving image of things that can really touch on things. And even at that moment, I really didn't even know what I was onto or what I was really doing at that point. I think I was just trying things out. Me and Willie together, we were creating things and just having fun and just really trying to learn more about this platform that ended up being, more digital content. We were doing digital content before digital content was really, really popular. Like the only thing that was on YouTube was like fight videos, cat videos. We remember then we used to just get on YouTube just because we were bored. There was nothing even on there. Wasn't even music videos on there yet. I think Yahoo had music videos at that time, and that's how you had to watch them either there or you had to watch them on TV when they aired. But yeah, it wasn't until after I made Slasher that I really realized that I may be onto something. So instead of, my original goal was to go to law school after undergrad, I decided, let me see if I can run with this a little further. And then so that led my journey to LA and ended up getting accepted into film school. So during that journey, I took a different approach with my shorts and started creating shorts that could touch people's lives, that had meaning. That were from unrepresented voices and practice inclusion and representation, all the stuff that we're working in the industry to get done today. And that is also now the new wave since 2020, the events of last summer and everything. So now we have this new wave and the new world that we're trying to create and push out, the exclusion of us and then more inclusion of us. And so that's important to my overall brand as an artist and storyteller. So I work hard now that I know my audience a little bit more to try to create these central-esque stories that I can keep pushing out and really impact people's lives.
I applaud you for that. That's powerful because I like how you said how there's the exclusion but then you're making sure that there is inclusion. And that's so important. You know what I mean? And us all in these little boxes, we're all individuals of color. And we're from different parts of the country, and we live in different cities. I think we live in different cities. Most of us do. But we're all represent diverse perspectives and diverse backgrounds, and we're not a monolith. So it's showing that, hey, we are people of color, of African descent, but we all have stories to tell, and we all have content to create. So I just think that it's very, very important for people out there watching to understand the importance of each and every one of your voices. Very important.
Thank you for creating this.
Oh, thank you. And I have my lovely outline of my phone just reflecting on me.
Your halo. It's your halo.
It is my halo. See?
Yeah,
Halo.
you can see it. We can see it.
Oh my goodness. What have you learned during COVID-19?
I've learned is definitely to not be so reactive, to start putting myself first, not only just thinking about self-care, but self-compassion as well. Not only just for other people, but for myself. And I learned that in the past, I didn't really focus on me as much. And then, 2020 came, and it, none of us really had a choice but to kind of sit and reflect and kind of reevaluate X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. So that's what I learned so far with considering COVID. But as far as creating, I feel 2020 just kind of showed me about perspective, having perspective. There were a lot of people that seemed negative last year, which they had every right to. But I learned that focusing on negative things really doesn't fix the situation or help the process. I noticed that whenever I was in a funk or if I felt negatively, I didn't create anything, and that's when I felt the worst. When I'm creating art and I'm able to self-express myself through art, any types of art, I feel better,
Yeah.
And I feel like, just like Jonathan had said, art's therapeutic. I think everyone needs some sort of art or some sort of outlet in their lives, especially since, considering the year that we just made or came from. Yeah.
Yeah, like Chris said, it is a universal connector.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. Yeah. What about you, Jonathan? Oh, sorry, Chris, did you have something to add on?
I was just going to say, art allows you to, everybody has this alter ego, but art allows you to express things that could be more challenging for you to say out of your mouth. And that's why it's the universal connector, because when you look at something, you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's what I'm feeling. That's what, you know what I mean? And I would have said that, but I wanted, and I couldn't. So that art connects everybody. And that's why I think healing through the arts for survivors is just as important, because sometimes survivors aren't ready to speak their truths. They're not ready to do that. But when they see it through the arts, we do something with stage productions written by survivors, performed by survivors, to connect to other survivors. And oftentimes that offers the platform and opens the door for that conversation for people through the arts. So yes, you're absolutely correct, Whitley and Jonathan.
And Jonathan, did you have anything to piggyback off of, or
Yeah,
anything on your mind?
all those are great answers. And then I'll segue into something else I think you posted about art as activism, but we'll get there.
Yes.
But yeah, quarantine was very, very tough. Just being isolated with your own thoughts, your own feelings. Me and Whitley, we were in a lot of contact during quarantine all the time. So yeah, it was tough, but we were encouraging each other through it all. But yeah, it was just staying creative was the hardest thing, I think, for me, and just the situations I was dealing with. I was in my last semester of grad school, and I had just finished shooting Man Down, we wrapped in February last year. Once the second week of March, everything shut down, was over. And so the challenge was trying to finish my movie. The school completely shut down. I couldn't use any of their facilities. And so to me, the movie was a wrap. It was done for now, And I told my professors, I was like, I'm not going to finish my film right now. So I don't have any of the resources that I'm paying you guys for. It's just impossible. And they wanted me to finish my movie on a laptop, just without any mixing, without anything that we would be paying for their facilities. So, initially I had given up, but eventually, like a month later, they told us originally that it was okay. They would figure out another alternative. And then they flipped it on us, as famously schools like to do. They told us we had to turn it in anyway to get a grade. So luckily, I had a team that was still dedicated to do it. So we would have like meetups like this. We would all be on Zoom. I would give my notes, and then, I would talk to my sound people. I would talk to my editor, and then I would talk to my composer. And I would have individual sessions with them, just going over notes and going over everything together. Then eventually everything that we compiled would go over to the sound mixer, who mixed it all down. And thank God I connected with a young student at the time, and he's still there. His dad works for Disney, so he has his own stuff in his house. So he was using like real material because his dad worked on Frozen and different things like that. So, I would just give him notes, he mixed it. So thank God for him. Or, I don't know how I would have gotten through Man Down the way I have now. And a lot of students weren't as blessed or able to even finish their projects. A lot of people didn't even finish shooting. So their projects are just hanging in the wind, and they had to graduate. So, it's just a weird space that we were in. And then also with graduating, being in a weird space in between an industry that doesn't really want to let a lot of new people in anyway. And now you're in COVID, where they're only letting a small group of people that they're used to working with. So that's a whole different struggle mentally. And I feel without art in general, or pushing myself to create amongst what's going on in the world, that I don't know if I would be here today, to be quite honest with you. We all suffer with things, and I use my art as a refuge to not only touch other people, but also, the food to my soul and the way I connect and use this therapy. So
COVID was a true challenge to anyone creative, to be honest, unless you have all of that stuff right here at your fingertips. But it challenges you to be even more creative, to, reach out and find different ways that you can get stuff done. So I applaud, each of you for being able to do that during that time. And for myself, I really got to a really low place when COVID hit, because the Cassie Project was about being there with the survivor on that couch, being able to help them and start that journey of healing, and not being able to connect with people. Not to mention, I have to be around people. COVID drove me nuts. But not to have that option made me feel like a failure when it came to the people who needed me, who needed to use that voice, to have their voice. Yes, it's an activism, and the art is an activism. Jonathan, it was really hard for me. And Laila, it took me almost that entire, at least 9 months to get to a point where I reached out and started doing the virtual platform, because I just felt like I couldn't reach people virtually. I didn't have the skills to do that stuff, but we did end up doing a Zoom call very similar to this, and ended up showing a film of the production that we launched in February called Eyes Wide Shut. And that was the one that we showed in October. And the idea was for Laila and I to come together and do another one, because we wanted to do to continue the series. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a virtual kind of gal, even though I understand the need and I want to be able to produce those things like your videos, Jonathan. Even the Man Down that I couldn't watch because I have to be in a certain headspace, because there was so much of that happening during the pandemic and in our world every day. It was so much of a personal connection. I have 3 sons, and it's just, it was a lot for me to take on, but it's very real and it's very necessary. So COVID hit me hard. One Black Woman Entertainment, the most I think I did was moderating some Zoom calls for other organizations. But again, part of what I do with Cassie for a Cause is going to events, covering necessary events that relate to our community and doing the backstory, getting the information from the organizations, the whys and who it affects and things like that. But I wasn't able to do any of that. So it hit me pretty hard emotionally, personally, with not being able to help survivors heal, and then with the challenges of technology, and then not being very savvy with the social media, Whitley, not being able to put the content out there that way, because I am a talk to you in your face kind of person. So hopefully my hope and my aspiration and my goal is to, have a huge launch forward for 2021 and be able to, do the social distancing, but give survivors what they need for the most part. So yes.
And so you're using your art as a form of activism. Cassie Project is a form of activism, correct? Yes.
Correct.
It's very, very vital. Very vital.
But
you don't have to
Halo
be out
Arts,
protesting. You could still create activism with your content.
But that's what you're doing, Laila. That's why I say Halo Arts is like, it's very similar to the Cassie Project. So you picked up the ball where I dropped it. And you are running with it. And I applaud you for that. And I'm glad that I can be here to support you, because you've always supported the Cassie Project and me. So thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. You didn't drop a ball. You didn't drop a ball. You're holding it. You didn't drop it. You just got to toss it up.
Take it. Like in basketball. No, I'm not going to let you take it.
Hey, Jonathan finished his film during quarantine. You know what? He didn't drop it either. So we're all learning just to kind of keep it going. It's like this game of catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball. And sometimes we drop it, but we pick it back up. That's what we do, So, Whitley, do. Oh, I'm sorry. You have something to say, John?
Yeah, I would say, like, the good thing about quarantine, because there's positives, is that it allowed everything to stop so you could really focus on what's important. You could see relationships that were important to you as well, ones that aren't. So it was really reflective, very reflective, in a sense that people always make excuses about how busy they are, blah, blah. I can't do this. I can't do that because I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. Now everything stops. So now you're no longer busy. You have no excuses. So you get to see who's real and who's not, And then also it allowed me to be able to spend time with, like, my family and reflect on different things that I may normally not have time for, because I'm just going from the next project to the next project and blah, 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 So, yeah, it was great in that aspect. And then also with the activism part, I want to say, like, films like Beauty Mark and Man Down reflect the times. And as an artist, it's important that as artists, we reflect the times in our work and what we're doing. So that's all a part of it. So when you use your platform to reflect the times and mirror what's going on in our world today, especially the United States at the time of 2020, that all that's important. There was a lot of domestic violence going on in people's houses because they were stuck together. They couldn't get out. And of course, we know in June it was, Black Lives Matter movement strong after the murder of George Floyd, and really Breonna Taylor, like, that really intensified things. And even the George Floyd trial was going on this month. So, I'm pretty sure might be another hot summer. So we shall see what happens in 2021. But yeah.
And speaking of those incidents with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Trayvon and all of them, those unfortunate souls, what was it? My question has always been, what was it about those particular incidents, or the George Floyd incident, that totally took it over the top? I mean, because we've lost so many lives along the way, and not that one was more important than another, but what was it at this point that made the country, that made the world stand up and say, Black Lives Matter, or this is enough?
Quarantine really was it, because people were already frustrated. So to be trapped inside in a new normal, and then you have police still killing people while we're in the middle of a pandemic, is ridiculous. So people were like, enough is enough. Let's burn this shit down. And that's what people did. And it just caught on. They saw this city burning. So they're like, we'll burn this motherfucker up too. Excuse the expression. So that's what's going on, unrest, and people are just tired. They're already tired. So now, it's just, why not get out here and do something that mattered? But just the brutality of a lot of those cases that became so popular, just I can't breathe, just that slogan, kneeing on people's necks. And then the way, the no knock warrant with Breonna Taylor, how they just came in our house and just shot bullets out everywhere. And they didn't even hold those officers responsible for killing her. They were more upset about the bullets went everywhere else. Like, it was more about the bullets than it was about the people's lives. And, it was just ridiculous. So, and then, when you talk about Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman was doing autographs, signing Skittles, like bragging that he murdered and got off about killing this boy. So those are why those particular cases, in my opinion, are just so impactful, because people are just blatantly letting white supremacy and systematic racism run rapid.
I agree. And it did not help that we had someone who was in charge that was, fueling that fire, encouraging people to continue that behavior. So it's my prayer that, now that we've changed leadership, that things will definitely look different and be different. But how many years have we as a people been praying that, though? I mean, I'm not saying God ain't listening, but like, I don't know what to say right here. It's like, but so yeah. Thanks for your input and feedback on that, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Laila, I wasn't trying to take over.
No, you're fine. This is just a panel, just talking, discussion. It's totally informal, so that's fine. It's fine.
But these things are important, though, when we talk about 2020, because it's a year forever that will be stable. Hopefully, all this stuff really makes it in the school history books, as they famously like to leave things out.
Definitely.
Now that even makes me wonder, when do we even rewrite history books? Because I feel like as we all know, there's a lot of history that's already left out. But this history from last year, I guarantee you that will not be in our history books. But then my thing is, the next question is, okay, it's 2021. We've seen the turmoil and all of the headache and everything and the unfortunate deaths of those beautiful kids. And they're human beings, and it's just like, at what point do we realize or think about, talk about, discuss, and figure out what can we do differently that will actually bring change? Because, I mean, we could march, of course. We've done that for years, decades. But what's going to happen? We need actions, and we need everybody to band together. I don't understand why we're so apart. Even after a pandemic, we all should be, it should be brotherly love at this point. It's still mind-boggling to me. And then even January 6th or 10th, storming the Capitol, what the heck? This is America. What? Like, what country are we living in right now? Like, it's almost as if the United States is kind of like the laughing stock of all of the other countries, unfortunately.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
See?
Yeah, that's not the first time I've heard that.
It makes me a little nervous, but hey, I have a lot of faith, but we'll see what happens this year and the years to come. But I'm hopeful. A lot of people are paying attention, it seems, a lot more than they were in the past. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All we can do is pray about it, I guess.
With reflection, Whitley, and just talking about quarantine, I think America does not want to deal with its original sin, which is racism, systematic oppression, redlining. Even put you in a place where you can even get money from banks because of where you live.
Right.
So it is America's original sin. They, white America and its ancestors are the original savages. How they try to make the Native Americans seem like savages and anybody else who's an other. And they are fear that if they lose systematic power, Like, say if we get to the same level that we can control as they control everything, we will do to them what they did to us. And that is the real issue here.
It's a real fear.
Yes. I agree. And that's scary. And then it's when you made the comment, Whitley, about, why can't we come together? Because it used to take a village to raise a child. Now it's like every man for himself. It's like, I have to protect my own. And on one hand, I can kind of see, like, if you're protecting your family and you're teaching them and, and you're all doing the right thing, if each family is doing that, then we can all come together with it. But there's so much division and there's so much, well, I'm only going to protect mine and damn this person or damn that person, oh, well, they shouldn't have been here, there, or everywhere. I don't know. I honestly told somebody at my job, I was the only African-American voice. And often they came to me like, well, Khrys, what can we do to make it better? First of all, I'm one Black woman. I don't speak for the entire, the whole African-American population or minority population. But I felt like, and I told them, I said, I don't see us healing this issue in my lifetime. It's been going on for so long. I'm like, I don't know that I'm ever going to see the end of racism. I don't know that my children are going to see it. My children are your age. So, will it happen in your lifetime? And that's really, really sad because we've been fighting for the same fucking thing for generations. And here we are asking the same questions, trying to figure out the same issues. And so, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Real. Don't apologize.
Let it out.
Real. And that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to just, as creatives, talk about what's going on and how everything affects everything. And that's, at the end of the day, that's just what's really, even today, still going on. I feel like there's moments where it's kind of just like a break. Like, we take a break from the real issues, and then we get reminded what's going on. Like what just happened with, it was in Atlanta, the shootings.
Atlanta, yeah.
At the spot, yeah.
Yeah, that just happened. So America just keeps reminding you like what its original problems are, because we get so caught up in our own bubbles and our own worlds that we're distracted. So we're all kind of like in denial of certain things because that's just the way America's been. We can't really change anything because to change something requires to have systematic power. That's why white privilege is something that is really important, and to create some type of allyship where your allies who have, natural privilege can help change things because they created it. Like, your ancestors created this. We alone, as people of color, and the other, cannot change this stuff because we don't have systematic power. But the people who have systematic power have that power to change things. But why change things when it doesn't really personally affect you, or it's going to make you equal to someone else? That's the real conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think what you're doing, Jonathan, and what you're able to do, Whitley, with the social media, with the filmmaking, and like I put in the notes, reality TV has always been scripted. And people don't believe that. But I was asked to be on Survivor, but they don't live out in the wilderness. They have trailers when they're not on camera. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not real reality TV, But my point is, reality TV was still made for entertainment purposes. It was made, it was created, it was scripted. You know what I mean? But what you're doing, what we're able to do with social media is put the real stuff, put real TV, real issues, real actions in your face. It's right there. It's at everyone's fingertips where everybody can see it. Everybody can reach out to it. So the whole thing with the police cams and all of that, dash cams and people being able to film everything that's happening, putting that stuff out there, it has opened the eyes of a lot of individuals who were just like, well, I never see it. I never, it doesn't happen where I live. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, But what you're creating, your content, your ability to reach millions and millions of people is such a blessing. It's huge. It could be the saving grace. because all those decades before that, generations before I was talking about, they didn't have social media. They didn't have independent filmmakers who were putting real shit out there. And when they were putting it out there, it was being taken down, and it's like, oh my gosh, you can't put that, on the big screen. We can't let people know this stuff. So we are in a different day and age where we could actually be the change makers. We could actually, with digital content, with independent filmmaking, with, things like Halo Arts, and having those expressions of real people, real issues, real healing, it's a possibility. So keeping hope alive. Where's my afro? Yes. Layla's got the afro. Okay, there it is.
I love it. We're gonna have to reconvene and do more of these, because I feel like there's so many topics that we could contribute to and to just speak on, because I've got some really intelligent friends that can really just teach people things. And I know it's not our responsibility to teach people things, but people can learn from you indirectly.
Each one teach one. It is our responsibility.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I think we all make a great panel, and we should continue this on What the Deuce.
Yeah, that would be slick.
Hey,
What the Deuce. I think that would be cool. I think that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. So it's getting to be that time where I kind of have to wrap up a little bit, because I'm borrowing this Zoom. I share a Zoom account with some really nice people, and I need to actually invest in my own, because I want the Zoom record capability. You just can't do it on the regular Zoom. But my lovely friends, Nicole and Marielle, they're the creative community facilitators. And that's why my name is that.
Thank you all.
And yeah, and they were like, just let us know whenever you want to use our Zoom. Just log in. Here's our information. Like, just let us know, and we'll, we can work around each other. So they have an event coming up at 7. And I told them, like, okay, I'm going to use this for a little bit, but thank you so much. We'll have some more scheduled, and I'm very excited. So before I wrap up, does anybody have any projects that are coming up that we need to check out? Any events, anything that you want the public to know about your current work? I see Jonathan's hands up. Woo, go ahead.
You know me, I always got something in the works, working on stuff. Me and Whitley are hard at work branding the Fresh Air Show. So we have definitely more content in store for 2021, and more exciting things like this panel that we would like to, invite other people on, other creatives, and talk about, current issues and what's going on in our world today. So that'll be a great thing to do on What the Deuce. And then also, I'm gearing up to shoot a new film called Children of Night, and it is a horror thriller about a young, college student who needs money for her upcoming semester. So she takes a house sitting gig, but to the mysterious Sinclairs, who are secretly vampires looking to build their family. So that's an exciting thriller. We're currently running an Indiegogo right now. So go support it. Hashtag Children of Night. We're on Indiegogo. Our videos are up on Facebook. You can follow me at Supastar Productionz on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And yeah, see what I got going on. And you can check out Beauty Mark and Man Down, which are streaming right now.
Hey, yes, yes. For me, I am working on a big project with a producer out of Chicago. It is untitled, but it will be very similar to Cassie Live. And it's all about survivors of sexual and domestic abuse and their healing. So I would love to collaborate with Whitley and Jonathan and Layla again and work on some projects. Hey, just let me know. I will come out to Los Angeles and bust my ass for a cause. So, like my email says, passionate for a cause, and I'm down to do whatever with whoever. Thanks, Whitley. Looking forward to contacting with you. I will get your information from Laila Hameen. Yes. So you all have been great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think for me, as Jonathan has said, he and I are working on rebranding the Fresh Air Show. Along with that, I'm in the process of creating a new type of mini series or show where I just pretty much just share all the tidbits about all things digital marketing, digital media, paid marketing, paid media, and everything. I've learned so much over the years, and I feel like, hey, why not just share it? So that's coming down the pipeline.
Nice. So I want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you so much. And please do not forget to support these wonderful individuals and to support Halo Arts as well. Well, I hope y'all have a great day, and please continue to heal above your living obstacle. Have a great day.